Hi, this is Di, the bass playing mom, and we are going to look at some more memes. I am lousy with memes, and this week's offering is particularly good. So there's a little something for everyone. You don't just have to be a bass player to appreciate these. I think other musicians would too, and maybe non-musicians. We'll see. Maybe if you love a musician, you would appreciate some of these memes. You know, other people have fancy backdrops. I have an amplifier with a votive candle. I spared no expense for you. All right, before we get started, you have a job. Pick out your favorite meme and let me know in the comments down below. More gear? Oh, look at all the people in line. Everybody wants more gear. Where is there no one in line? Learning to use existing gear. This did just happen to me. I had another musician come up to me and say, you know, I think something's wrong with your compressor. And I looked at the pedal and one of the knobs had been turned like all the way up. That was supposed to be at like 12 o'clock. And I don't know how long it was that way. And yes, I should have heard it in my ears, but I could hear something was wrong. I just couldn't hear what it was because there's, you know, other musicians and things happening in your ears. The lesson for today is life is complicated. That was complicated. Be a musician. Expectation. You got a bass, you got a dude, he expects to get all the ladies, and then you have a bass and a dude. And you know what the reality is? A bass and a dude, and another bass, and another bass, and another bass, and a cat. I had all of that, except the cat. I don't have a cat anymore. I had a cat. Life is just outliving a series of pets, isn't it? We sell musical instruments, also drums. There's a musician in your life that will appreciate it. Probably not a drummer. In the game of baseball, stealing a base while the game is in progress is generally regarded as the most difficult play to execute successfully. Okay, maybe there's a spelling error there. Base, baseball, I don't know. It's the same word, right? Man runs out of gas on interstate, sets up drum kit to kill time. On Tuesday morning, a man driving on the Baltimore Beltway ran out of gas, so he did what anyone would do. He pulled over to the shoulder of I-695, set up his drum kit, and began to play until help arrived. And then there's a comment that says, that's what I call a traffic jam. This happened to me. I have told this story before, and I will tell it again. When I was in a concert band, we were on our way to a concert, completely dressed out, full-length skirts to the ground, dudes in tuxes, like we're on our way to the gig, and we're on I-5, headed south. This is by Federal Way, so it's 6 lanes at that point, maybe more. And the bus driver pulls the bus over, and he says a few words to the band director, and the two of them walk around, open the hood on the bus, walk back around. The bus driver and the band director say, okay, folks, it's time for us all to get off the bus. Don't even bring your instruments. Just get off now. So you know that those are words that your band director only says when the bus is literally on fire, because it was literally on fire. They got to put out, though. And somebody came to bring us a new bus. And in the meantime, we had a jam session on I-5. We went back after those instruments and started playing them right on the side of the freeway. We were getting horns honked. It was pretty hysterical to see. Anyone that drops the mic clearly hasn't bought a mic before. Yeah, no, we're not dropping my mic. No. I'm so happy that I have a mic now. We're not dropping it. No. The only thing I don't like is you can't see my shirt, so I'll just show you now. It's Rush, but off the periodic table, because Rush fans aren't nerds. People who are willing to drive 5 hours to see one of their favorite bands play for 2 hours are my kind of people. I would do that. Heck, I went all the way to Las Vegas to see Gwen Stefani. She had a really good bass player in the band. In fact, I'm posting those videos now of my trip to Las Vegas on my other channel. I was going to put a link in the eye in the sky. Is it over there? Anyway, I'm going to put an eye in the sky so you can see my Las Vegas trip. You got to check that out. I have the other channel that's just like my vlogs and stuff. Okay. Well, it's travel, like the trip, and then medical updates. I'm the kind of person who will restart a song because I got distracted and wasn't appreciating it enough. Absolutely, aren't you? Doesn't everyone do that? Does not everyone do that? Support music every day because there isn't a day music won't be there to support you. It's true, isn't it? It is true, right? I could use some music today. I'm going to show you the top half first and then the bottom half because you really need to absorb these separately. What people think Backstage is like. Woo! Party City. What Backstage is really like. You know, this could actually, yes, this could more accurately be what people think the National Association of Music Merchants, NAMM, conference is like and what it's really like. Those dudes in the shorts and the black t-shirts, like, there were so many at NAMM. So many. Younger guys with ponytails. And yes, I'm happy to pretend to turn you up in the mix. I had a gig when I was a vocalist, and I had a friend at the gig, and I could tell that I was not turned up in the mix because I wasn't even getting anything off of monitor bleed or anything. Like, my mic was off. I could tell. And so I came back to the sound guy and said, you know, I'm sorry to bother you, but I know that my mic is off. Could you turn it on? And he said, no, your mic's on. So I finished up the set. And I asked my friend, like, could you hear my voice? And she said, no, I couldn't. And then the sound guy says, hey, Diana, I was turning up that microphone over by the plant. So the plants were well mic'd that day, not me. That's not a problem I have now that I play bass. I have to say, my sound guy, Kurt, shout out goes to Kurt. He comes to me and brags about how much I'm up. He's like, I walked off the stage and I could feel the bass on the floor. Thanks, Kurt. Now I'm going to get stage fright. Most musicians remain poor, but the music that they make, even if it does not bring them millions, gives millions of people happiness. Is this glorifying not paying artists for their work? I think maybe it is. You know, there's a whole argument about should the band sleep in the van? And I think if you're producing good art, you should be paid for what you did. Properly. But I understand the sentiment. I mean, the most of us are volunteers. We're not making any money, but we are trying to give people some happiness, right? That's how it is for artists, right? We got a Marshall head here, and it's been ticking off the neighbors since 1962. The best sound in the world is when the neighbor kids have a garage band. That just makes me so happy. Rehearsal is for working out the set list, segues, endings, and harmonies, not for learning the songs. Do your homework. This one's a little bit direct, don't you think? This looks like, you know what this would be? A poster your band director puts on the wall. Like, thank you for the poster, Mr. Band Director. That reminds me. Also, empty your spit valves. There should never be a song that you're playing that you haven't seen before because the onus is on you to rehearse, practice, practice, practice. My band teacher used to always talk about woodshedding. And it wasn't until I had my own kids that I realized that that was because people used to have a shed in the back of their yard and they would send the kids out there to practice so they didn't have to hear it. Woodshedding. Go practice in the woodshed. That's when you play the same phrase over and over and over till you can play it. And nobody wants to hear that. Music theory. And there's a guitarist under the table crying. I kind of resemble that one. Maybe if you have to explain this one, it's not funny. It's just funny to look at. Don't mind me. Just making a rough mix. Get it? It's a dog joke. My guitarist strap when I try to straighten it out. If somebody went through the live streams of me playing at church, They could make a compilation of videos where I'm messing with my strap, desperately trying to fix it. I can't figure out which way it goes. I don't know how they do that. You take it on and off, but somehow it just always ends up with a kink in the back. And then sometimes it's so kinked on the edge that when you turn it around, the whole thing drops down. That's frightening too. I wouldn't tell anyone I won the lottery, but there would be hints. Look at how bad this is photoshopped. And I know it's a guitar, not a bass, but you get the point. More pedals, right? More pedals. A message to pianists and other keyboard players. We have a bass player. For years, I had to share, well, it wasn't share, it was a piggyback monitor between piano and bass. I love this one. Hey, we should put some music on the front of our menu. Okay, what should I use? Whatever's probably fine. So it's the Amadeus Cafe, which would imply Mozart. If you can read music, I want you to just pause right here. I want you to stare at this and start singing it. And then you can unpause it and we'll sing it together. Are you ready? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's the Flintstones. I better not get a copyright for the Flintstones theme. Wouldn't that be funny? You're in trouble. You got to share revenue with the Flintstones. Anyway, yeah, this is the Flintstone theme, totally. This is not Mozart. However, the Flintstones theme is really good. But it's not Mozart. There's no business like show business. Every sound guy's dream come true. A concert is simply a group therapy session to help the musicians and the audience stay a bit more sane. Right? You never have as much clarity until you get to the end of a set. And this is my favorite. I saved it for last. It is. Son, what'd you learn at your first bass lesson? I learned to play 4 A's in a row. What'd you learn at your second lesson? I learned to play 4 D's in a row. And what'd you learn in your third lesson? I couldn't go. I had a gig. This is every bass player's story, man. That's the thing. You're not a guitar player. They're going to need you right away, and they're going to take you before you know how to actually play. Like, it's on the job. It is an on-the-job learning process because there will always be a gig for you if you're a bass player, no matter how inexperienced. I am proof. I am proof that there's always a job for every bass player. It's on-the-job training, man. Always on-the-job training. Well, let me know down below which of these memes was your favorite. That's your job. Pick out your favorite. Let me know down below. And check out this video of more bass player memes, or this video down here that YouTube picked out just for you.